What's up, guys? Jason of New Age Revolution down here in the cave for another episode of TN80sR half-hour power hour. However, this is another very serious episode. And usually when I do these very serious episodes, I like to do them outside where it's a different vibe, a different view. It's hard to talk about these serious topics with Terry Funk behind me, but it's 95 degrees outside. I just mowed the lawn, and I don't want to be outside right now. So we're doing it down here with some Double Dragon 3 playing in the background, and I hope that's just okay for you guys. We're going to skip ahead to a special question that was asked by my friend Mike D. Mike D on the channel. He's always been leaving comments for the past few months, and if you've read his comments, he usually, has a Bible quote in there, or a Bible verse, or just overall the theme of his comments are very faith-based and things like that. And he asked me a couple of questions, and I'm going to address them on another very serious episode of the TN80sR half-hour power hour. But first, I would like to say hello to Langdon and Benjamin. That's right, Langdon and Benjamin, who are the children of Mike D and his lovely wife, and they, as a family, hang out and watch the New 80s Revolution. And I'm very thankful for that. So I want to say, again, hello to Benjamin and Langdon. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. And I want you to tell your mom and dad to, make sure that they are supplying you with lots and lots of 80s toys. Yeah. All right. So anyway, the question. There's two questions. So here we go. He says... friend and fan of the channel, Mike D here. I love and enjoy your channel and videos and have for a while, even comment once in a while. You comment often. Here are my two questions. First one is heavy. Second one, not so much. His heavy question is, are you and your family Christians? Are you followers of Jesus Christ in the Bible? The question has been on my heart. The question has been heavy on my heart to ask you for some reason. And as a longtime Christian myself, it blesses my heart to hear when others are as well. Maybe because as we all get older and realize how fragile life is, we start to realize how much more important eternity is and our salvation through Jesus Christ. Told you it was heavy. I know you have mentioned that you are in the mental health field, and personally being a Christian myself, knowing God is always with me, by my side, helps make the trials of life easier. Can't imagine going through life without him. I pray he can help others as well. And then there is a second question that we'll answer after that. So I will charge my phone. Well, I'll charge my phone so that I can answer his second question when I'm done answering this one. And in order to charge the phone, we have to move Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam Bigelow covers up the outlet. Thank you, Bammer. Okay, great question. And a question that I am certainly welcoming on this show. That's the type of questions those are the kind of surprise questions that I like getting, in addition to the your standard 80s toy questions, which you guys are great at. So I certainly don't mind the question. So here's the answer. The short answer is no. My family and I are not Christian. But there's more to the story. I have wrestled with faith. No pun intended. I have wrestled with faith my whole life, my whole adult life, I'd say. We were brought up in a Catholic school. Now, my parents by no means were devout Catholics. Quite the opposite. But for whatever reason, they thought sending us to a Catholic private school was the way to go. I'm pretty sure that, like, my dad's family, his mom and dad, and my mother's parents, and the very few aunts and uncles that we have on my mom's side. We have a ton of aunts and uncles on my dad's side. Anyway, I think the general religion theme of our extended family into the 80s was Catholic. But I can assure you right now that none of them were devout practicing Catholics. Either you're a devout Catholic or you're a Sunday Catholic. And a Sunday Catholic is the guy who is a Catholic on Sundays and goes to church and might even have the gold cross around his neck. But, doesn't do anything else very faith-based the other 6 days a week, and is probably cursing and swearing and smoking on his way home from services on Sundays. Not to that extreme, but I think that's the kind of Catholics we were. We went to the Catholic school, and part of the tradition of the Catholic school is that on Wednesdays, I think Wednesdays bi-weekly, or maybe even monthly, we would go to St. Pius Church, which was right attached to St. Pius School, and we'd go to Mass. I guess it was probably part of religious class once a month. And also part of the Catholic tradition, especially if you're going to Catholic school, there's these things called sacraments in the Catholic faith. And, you have to get baptized first, which all the youngsters do. You have to get your first communion. You have to get your confirmation, it's called. And then you do like a confessional. You go through that whole thing. And once you do all those sacraments, you're a full-blown Catholic. But the Catholic faith says that if you only do a few of them, you're not even Catholic. So don't even call yourself Catholic. Well, I got baptized Catholic and did my first communion through St. Pius School. So I guess I'm like a third Catholic because I didn't complete all of their tasks. Well, once we left Catholic school in 6th grade, are you doing okay, Finn?
Yeah.
Okay. Once we left Catholic school in 6th grade, I went to a public school. And the religion ended at that point. It was over. We no longer attended any church. I'm not even sure if my two sisters completed their first communion, because I left in 6th grade, so that would mean my sister was in 4th grade. And my other sister was in like 1st grade. So I don't even think my other two sisters were ever even did their communion. But after 6th grade, it ended. And there was no more talk of religion or faith or anything, or God in general, in our lives, in our homes. It was over. And which frustrates me because I think, I think my parents used the Catholic school, just to get their kids into a decent school, which I appreciate. But, I don't think it's the right way to go. And ever since then, I have been very indifferent about faith, about God. And there was a period where, it's hard for me to believe, which is sad, I think. Trust me, I'm very, very, very envious of people. And I think that's one of the Catholic 10 Commandment deals. You're not supposed to be envious. But I'm very envious of people who have a strong, devout faith. So envious. Because I think their lives are better. I think they're happier. and that's not talking bad about anybody who's not, because I would probably put myself into that category. But I'm envious of people who have faith. I'm envious of people who have a community within church. I'm envious of that. But I have had, and I currently have, a very hard time believing in God, or in the concept of heaven or of hell. I don't necessarily have any. Finn, don't do that to your head, babe. You're going to get dizzy. I don't have any hard time believing in Jesus Christ. I believe, or at least I think, he was a person. A very special person who probably did really special things a long, long time ago. I don't know if I believe that he's the Son of God. I don't know. I don't know. And so when I say all this, when I say I don't believe, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say I don't believe. So I strike that. I take that back. It's not that I don't believe it. I don't know. None of us know, really, but we have faith. And that's what faith is. Faith is having something, or faith is a belief in something that you can't see. And I don't know if any of this is true. I don't know. I don't know if we're all alone in this world, and that there is no higher power, or that there is no God, or that there is no heaven, or all the stuff that they taught me in Catholic school was just a fun little fairy tale. I don't know. I'm not foolish enough. Okay, I'm not foolish enough to sit here and say no way. Right? So I can't get behind I fully can't get behind the people who say no way, absolutely not. Because you don't know. We don't know. We haven't seen it. We don't know. So either you have faith in it or you don't. But you can't say no, 100% no way, this is just not true. We don't know that. We don't know that. So I would never be foolish enough to say absolutely not. I question it. I wonder. I wonder how it's possible. I wonder how things can, the most common question that people struggle with is, why do bad things happen then? And a lot of times people will come back and say, well, God is punishing us, and I'm not going to get behind that. I'm not going to believe that God wants to hurt anybody, if there is such a thing. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that molestation and pedophilia and horrible things that happen to children are God's plan. I'm not going to stand behind that. However, the first book of the Bible shows God trying to control us and trying to punish us, and flooding our earth and killing lots and lots of beings. And then comes back and says, if I'm not mistaken, well, that's no good. I'm never going to do that again. You guys are on your own. And that's how I interpret it. Free will. You guys are on your own. I created you. I made the mistake of trying to interfere too much. I wiped all of you out. I feel bad about it. I'm never going to do that again. Best wishes to you. Fine. Well, if that's the case, if we have total free will, then sure, I guess I can understand pedophiles and horrible crimes and innocent people being destroyed. I guess I can understand that. Is God really, really going to hold on to that I'm not getting involved thing? Fine. But then we have these cases of prayer groups and miracles. Well, you're going to tell me that miracles are only going to happen to a select few people? I can't get behind that either. I think that's kind of unfair. You know, why is it okay for a miracle to happen to somebody and not to another? You know, those are the kinds of questions that I have that make me say, I don't know. I don't know. You know, and I've never really ever met anybody that can answer those questions without, you know, quoting something from the Bible or going with the whole free will thing. And you know what? I'm behind free will. I think that's fine. But then you can't have, you know, God's interference from time to time. You know, I can't get behind an occasional miracle when so many other people are praying for help and praying for, you know, to not take the child and to not do this and to not do that. You know, I can't do that. You know, the little girls who were kidnapped from wherever it was 5-10 years ago, and they were held for years, and they were finally found, and they were raped every day, and one of them got pregnant from the captor, and after the guy got, you know, arrested, he offed himself in prison. But those 3 little girls were taken away from their families, and they were gone for years in a house, chained up in a basement in Cleveland. That's where it was, Cleveland. They didn't deserve a miracle? You know, they had to wait 8, 10, 12 years and have their lives destroyed, and they didn't deserve a miracle? So, with all that being said, there was some interesting events that happened several years ago. And I found myself reaching out for support to a Baptist church in my area. And I went to this Baptist church for several weeks, and I loved it. And the complaint that I always had about Catholic Church was, I'm not feeling anything. I'm not feeling anything in the Catholic Church. I grew up in the Catholic Church. It's very monotonous. It's very regimented. There's a whole lot of different symbols and saints and everything that they pray to, statues and whatnot. And I never left there feeling anything. I left there feeling bored, to be honest with you. But when I went to Greece Baptist, the place is called Greece Baptist, I finally felt something. I felt great. Don't touch the camera, babe. I felt great. I felt... It just felt good. It's a hard feeling to describe. I felt good. And I went back. I went back a lot. And then we brought our kid there. Liam was like 2 at the time. We brought him there. And we put him in the playroom to hang out with little kids. And 15 minutes into the service, he came crying to us. And some kid had bit him in the arm and taken a chunk out of his arm. And I was furious. And we never went back. I still think about it. I think about it. The pastor reaches out to me from time to time and invites me to breakfast. And even 7 years later, he's still staying in contact with me. And trust me, that has not fallen short on me. That means something to me, that he keeps reaching out to me. You know, it must mean something. It doesn't just mean a free breakfast out of me. So where do I stand going forward? Somewhere. I'm getting closer to exploring Greece Baptist again. There's a Baptist church in town too, but I really liked this other place. I really liked it. I thought the pastor was great. His music was more country, like had a country vibe to it. It was very cool. And old 85-year-old ladies met me once and remembered my name the next week. And to me, that blew me away because I didn't remember their names. And I barely remembered, you know, what was for lunch yesterday. But these 85-year-old women remembered my name and greeted me each week. And that was an awesome feeling. I can assure you of this, I won't return to a Catholic church ever again. It doesn't do it for me. But there may be a visit back to Greece Baptist in my future. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to be overwhelmed with the feeling. I'm envious of people who sit and say how much they feel it, how much of a presence it is in their life. I'm envious of that. I'm envious of people who say that God spoke to me and told me to do this. I'm envious of those people. I've never experienced that. And trust me, I think my life would be a heck of a lot easier if I did. And I'm never foolish enough to rule out anything. I just want to feel it, you know. And if I feel it, then I'll go with it. So that's that. That's the answer. I hope that doesn't change your views on the channel, Mike D, or any of you, any of the rest of you. But I think I explained myself in a way that does not alienate anybody. I want all of you to believe what you believe and practice what you want to practice. Also in the mental health world, I work with all kinds of people, right? I work with people of all sexual orientations. I work, and now in the last couple of years, we're seeing a lot more of gender changing and you know, all of this stuff that's going on. And it's happening more and more with young people. And I can't, again, I can't get behind an organization that dismisses those folks or says that they're not, you know, that they're bad people, or that they can't practice their beliefs, or that they're going to hell. You know, I have a hard time doing that. And I think that's just because that's my field, and that's the field that I've been in for 20 years, where, you know, I have to work with lots and lots and lots of different people. So that's that. Thoughts, comments, and keep them respectful. I don't want anybody to bash anybody else's faith or bash anybody else's lack of faith. We're all, we're all friends here. And discussions like this, if they're done correctly, I think can be healthy. I would love to sit down with Mike D one day and talk about his faith and talk about what he feels about some of the questions that I just asked, you know, some of the roadblocks in my way. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Mike D, I will answer your second question. I'll put that in the rotation for the rest of the show. For the rest of the questions, I don't want to jump to a fun question after this serious run, but that's my thoughts, and I will see you all again next time. Mr. Perfect is coming along well. Take a look, ladies and gentlemen. I took the painter's tape off. He's coming along. His suit is done. His boots are done. I got to paint the bottom of his feet, but I can't stand him when he's drying if I've got paint on the bottom. And then all we have to do next is tackle the hair and the eyebrows, and we've got ourselves a Mr. Perfect. So that's that. When that bad news comes in the mail, I'll let you know what the bad news is, and we'll go on another painting project. So thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Mike D, for the question. Great question. Hope to see you around the channel. Good night now.